splattering people. We got Carlos Dunlap at the defensive end. You get Shaq Griffin back on the outside. You hope to get Quentin Dunbar coming back soon. And on offense, DK Metcalf. DK, don't call me little Calvin Johnson Metcalf. He took it personal, goes out, beats Darius Slay, and shows that he's one of the top receivers in this league with a healthy Chris Carson in the backfield. This team is rounding into form as the season goes on. They got some easy games, and they will be looking at my number 4 team, the Green Bay Packers, eye to eye at some point in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is flat out balling. He's a dude that's probably drinking scotch on Tuesday now, and he doesn't need 2 more fingers of it like he needed when Justin Love was picked. Do you think that was a bad pick? Hell yeah, it was, because this dude has 4 more years left. They've gotten healthy outside defensively. They still got to find a way to stop the run. But when Aaron Jones is right, when Aaron Rodgers is right, when he is standing upright the way that he was against the Chicago Bears, there is nothing that you can do with this team offensively. They have to find some defense going down the stretch, and if they do, we could see them in the Super Bowl. At number 3, it's the New Orleans Saints. Here's what we found out, guys. If you have a week of film on Taysom, he really ain't that good. But this defense is top notch. This defense could win with me. It could win with Wonder Mike Greeny. It could win with Dominique Foxworth at quarterback. I don't really know about Desmond. He's been hanging around with Lee Corso and them dudes so long. I don't know if he still got it. But us 3, for sure. This defense is going crazy. They can run the football on offense. We obviously know what Mike Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders are, and also Jared Cook, who can stretch the field. When they get Drew Brees back, this could be the team that's going to their 2nd Super Bowl, winning it and throwing a COVID-free parade. And at number 2, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know what this team is. They play excellent defense. They have a quarterback that makes clutch plays, and there are skilled players all over the place. And the standard is the standard here. No matter what, week in, week out, they have a future Hall of Fame coach that gets this team ready to play. And I get it. Oh, Ryan, why aren't they number 1? You have a Pittsburgh Steelers trophy. You got a Lombardi. You have a terrible towel. I don't care. They're still number 2, and they're going to be number 2 until something else changes. But what hasn't changed is the L column. They have not lost a game this season. They've shown up in all the critical moments, and this is one of the best teams in the league. And at number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Because I told you, Greeny, this week I am going with certainties. Certainties like sweet potato pie. I heard you talking to Mel in the break about him trying to order some pumpkin pies, but all the pumpkin pies was gone. As we asked last week, who in the hell eats pumpkin pie? Not Patrick Mahomes. And if he ate it, he'd put a bunch of ketchup on it. And if Patrick Mahomes eats pumpkin pie, everybody should eat dang pumpkin pie. Because what he did to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was unfair. There was never a point in that game where we felt like it was in doubt because of who played quarterback for that team. And that's why they're number 1. That's why they're going to stay number 1. They might lose 3 games down the stretch and still be number 1. Because I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
There they are. I can't argue. Then here's another look at the list. It is the Seahawks, the Packers, the Saints, the Steelers, and the Chiefs. All 5 of these teams currently in first place in their respective divisions. Let's see if we have any disagreement from the squad here. Dominique, anything you take issue with here?
I'm with them. I mean, if I were a Steelers fan or I were a Steeler, I'd be a little upset because you can't do anything more. However, I'm with you. I saw Tyreek Hill out there, and it gave me cold sweats while I was watching.
Yes.
So that's a problem. I don't care how good your pass rush is, how many blitzes you're going to send, how many double coverages you got. That man is a special player, especially with that quarterback over there. So you're right to stick with that team at number 1 for now.
Graziano, any issues?
I just have a question. I want to know from Ryan, what is wrong with drinking scotch on Tuesdays? I mean, it's 2020. We're all getting by however we can. I don't think if Aaron Rodgers wants to do that, I think that's his prerogative.
I think that's a reasonable take. Desmond, how about that? He said that they could win with a lot of us at quarterback. They could win with me at quarterback, but not you, Des. What do you think?
Yeah, I tell you what, man. You know, I almost took offense to that. I know the pizzazz of this group right here, but I still got a little something in the tank. And I tell you what, if I was playing with KC and with Patrick Mahomes, my man Andy Reid, I will be able to go out there and produce a little something. I will be able to contribute. You know, I can help. I can help.
Yeah, this group does have a lot of pizzazz because, as I've said many times, I've got more clothes than Muhammad Ali, and I dress so viciously. We'll take a quick break as we continue on this Wednesday edition of Get Up. Hey, Eagle fans, you want to replace Carson Wentz as your quarterback? One of our crew says, not so fast, my friends. You'll hear who and running backs that you see there on the left side, Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, are eligible to return today. So let us go to what appears to be a chilly Pittsburgh this morning, where our Kimberly Martin is standing by. Kimberly, what is the latest?
Good morning, Greeny. It is freezing in Pittsburgh, but it is game day. We think. The next couple hours are critical. As you mentioned, 2 more positive tests on the Ravens side, but we're supposed to get the results later this morning. So the next few hours are really important. Both teams preparing to play as though a game will happen at 3:40. But as you mentioned, 2 more positive tests. The team will take rapid tests, point of care tests this morning. We'll get that a little later.
So what exactly does that mean? So Koshefty said the tests yesterday were, quote, not unexpected and not a concern for the game. So what is it they could hear today that would mean the game isn't played?
Well, it's believed that these 2 individuals, as Jameson Hensley, our Ravens reporter, had reported yesterday, an equipment manager and a rookie safety, yesterday they were the ones that tested positive for COVID, and they were already targeted as potential high risk. So the Ravens had a walkthrough practice. Everybody wore a mask. Everybody was socially distant before even coming to Pittsburgh. So the game should be on if no more positive tests come in this morning.
Okay, so there's no certainty yet. Meanwhile, what can you tell us about how the Steelers have been dealing with all these postponements? We've heard a lot of complaints loudly from their side of this. How are they dealing with it?
Yeah, we've now had 3 postponements. The Steelers players voiced their frustration after the first postponement, the Thanksgiving game. And it's understandable given the fact that this is a team that's 10-0, looking to continue its unbeaten streak. And, you know, they're in first place in the AFC North. They're about to play their fiercest rival. But as we've had this game postponed, obviously both sides frustrated. People described it as surreal that this is even happening, but both sides want to get this game in today. I think everybody just wants to play and turn the page on the Steelers-Ravens game that's been postponed 3 times.
And it has so much at stake. That's the thing that everyone needs to remember. Kimberly Martin, stay warm. Thank you very much, and we'll come back to you if there's any further news. In the meantime, if this game is going to be played today in such a way that the Ravens are significantly diminished, which feels likely, I just showed you that long list of players who will not be available, including the quarterback Lamar Jackson, there are some who wonder if it is even in the best interest of the league for it to be played. Dominique, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's overreacting a bit. Honestly, it seems like there's nothing that can make America not care about football. It seems like a minor thing considering all the things that have happened in the NFL and the choices that the league has made in the past several years. So I don't think that this is going to damage or make people stop caring or stop respecting the Shield in any way. Honestly, there's few things that are more football than having your team decimated by injuries. It just so happens that this year it's a unique injury and it happens to be being infected or close to somebody with a disease. So I don't believe that this is going to do that much damage to the way people view football. And if anything, it made us care a little bit more about that Broncos Saints game. It made us watch with some novelty. Agreed that it wasn't a pretty matchup, but it didn't seem like they had much great quarterback play on either side, honestly.
I get that. Yes, I was more interested in Broncos Saints before it started than I might otherwise have been.
Right.
I lost interest in it real fast, to be totally honest with you. That became a tough one to watch. So Ryan Clark, with that thought in mind, same idea. Do you hear what Greg McElroy is saying? What do you think?
Yeah, I hear him, and I think it's tone deaf. I think it's tone deaf in 2020 with all that people are dealing with to be focused on it's the Shield. Listen, there are people who don't think that football should be being played at all, and those people are going to continue to think that. And then there are some who just tune into their TV just because somebody has on pads or somebody's pushing through to give them entertainment, and they appreciate that. And to think that damaging the Shield would be your larger focus. Your larger focus is containment, obviously. Your larger focus is safety. The other focus is trying to get this season done, not necessarily fairly, but in an expeditious manner so you can just move on to 2021. And so for me, you play these games, and you play this game for this reason specifically. The Denver Broncos game did happen. The New England Patriots did have to play without Cam Newton. And I know this is not necessarily just a regular injury report, but in 2020, COVID-19 is part of the injury report. And the people you lose because of that is part of the legacy, is part of the journey, is part of the story. And what's more gladiator sport, which football is supposed to be, than being down, than missing pieces, and finding a way to fight to win? People will tune in to see that.
That's right. Hey, look, Desmond, I'll come to you on the same thought. People have questioned that about the pro football and about college football. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you, Greeny, when you said that you tuned into the Denver Broncos game against the Saints because you were intrigued initially. I think this game will have the same intrigue, but then how you lost interest very fast, I think this game will have the same result because you're still putting the product out there. Now, I understand what Greg is saying because when you represent the Shield, you want to put the best product out there that you can. And when you're putting out there a watered-down Baltimore Ravens, obviously they don't have Lamar Jackson, who's a dynamic quarterback, but they're missing a whole lot of other pieces too. They'll probably get the running backs back. J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram might get that, but they're still missing a lot. So I understand what he was trying to say, but they've made it perfectly clear. Against anything and everything, they're going to have a game. The fact that they keep postponing the game, that's what didn't sit well with me. It's like, maybe you really shouldn't have this game if you have to postpone it 3 times because of COVID. And then you tell me they had 2 more positive tests, but those are, inconsequential positive tests. We still can play the game. It just sends a bad message, message of inconsistency. So that's the problem that I have with it, Greeny.
Go ahead, Nate.
It's not the same, though. It's not the same as having Hinton out there. Like, RG3 was the Rookie of the Year. Let's stop pretending like these are equivalent situations.
Sure.
Like, the Ravens are decimated by this outbreak and by just other injuries. So it's going to be a tough game. And I agree. It's going to be a watered-down product, just like Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight was a watered-down song. It was no Grandmaster Flash the message, but still people liked it. People showed up and they danced and listened to it.
What? That's a classic.
Trash,
man,
watered down garbage.
Hey,
The message.
What you hear is not a test.
I've been waiting for someone to make reference to it. Can we please take a full shot of Desmond Howard, please, Jen, if we can? Because every week we look forward to seeing what album he puts up there. And today, Ryan Clark gets Sugar Hill Gang. What do we think?
I mean, that's a classic. It's like Desmond Howard when you win Super Bowls and you win Heisman, you can take it back. Listen, and it was a great year. It was 1979. That was the year Ryan Clark was born. And so that will forever be something I remember, and I appreciate you representing, Des. You don't let Dom talk to you like that. Tell you what it is. No, is it basketball?
My man, thank you, RC.
It's not a classic. I guess it's a classic, but it is watered down nonsense. Like I tell you, go listen to Grandmaster Flash, the message. If you want some old school hip hop, that's all I'm saying. This Sugar Hill Gang, this Greeny rap. This is Greeny rap. I guarantee you that Greeny Man knows
Greeny
all the
know it.
lyrics.
I bet you Greeny know it.